Dr. Robi, I feel like this is a great topic for anyone who's had a brother or sister or has kids, multiple kids perhaps. What are some of the most common reasons that siblings fight?
Well, there's jealousy, there's competition, there's a fear about sharing love and your sense of security. So it can have to do with attachment style as well. And then all kids have their good days and their bad days. And when kids are young, they have a hard time emotionally regulating themselves and even putting their emotions to words. So there are a lot of challenges there, and that's what makes it so tough, especially when they're young.
Let's say you're in it, right? And the kids are bickering or they're fighting or they're arguing. What are some of the best ways that you as a parent can step in to help? And when do you need to know when to hold them and kind of walk away and let them resolve everything?
Well, you can ask them what's going on, because sometimes kids can get really good at problem solving themselves, especially when you expect that from them.
Right.
So you could say, listen, what do you think you can do to resolve the situation? Make it a win-win. You don't want to blame one person as being right and one kid as being wrong. And sometimes you could just say, you know what, why don't we take a break? Let's just take a break for a moment, because kids sometimes need to be separated. But if you as a parent are emotionally regulated and you see it as this is normal, then your kids will respond in kind, which is really helpful for them.
I love what you said about parents being emotionally regulated, because I'm a strong believer that kids can sort of feel, people can feel our energy, but certainly, you know, our little ones. So what are some of the best tips you have for helping siblings maintain a healthy relationship in the first place?
So you can ask each one to empathize with one another. You want to create a nice family environment. If kids have something they both like, let's say like dinosaurs, you can engage in an activity like that together. Maybe you have a family night where there's movie and popcorn and they look forward to it. And also reminding them that they're on the same team.
Yes.
It's okay to disagree, and also speak to their highest self. Like, I know you're so good at organizing. I think your brother or sister could really learn from you. So to speak up in terms of their strengths and to help them feel special, but in a real way that can help the sibling rivalry be less rivalry.
Right,
Rivalrous.
special, but as part of a team, I think that's important. 'Cause sometimes parents do sort of compare their kids.
Oh, absolutely.
And that ends up pitting them against each other. Talk about why this is beneficial long-term, physically, psychologically, to have siblings that are close to each other. This is something that I always want to foster with my 3 girls.
Yeah. Well, it teaches us about life, right? I mean, when you have a sibling, you realize you're not the only one. People are competing with you. So you learn how to problem solve. I work with a patient. She was like the #1 real estate person, and she learned how to relate based on her relationship with her siblings, how to take a step back. So I think it's really important in terms of navigating the world, learning how to put your feelings into words, asking for what you want. And if you do it well, you can get a friend for life, which is great. They keep us on our game, right? We are always like upping, and you know, we can become our best selves and most successful selves if we handle rivalry right.
I love what you said. I mean, my dad, the only thing he ever asked us growing up was to take care of each other. That was the only thing he ever asked. And I do feel like I learned how to navigate conflict. I learned that you don't get to be the only or the best.
That's
you know, everyone has a shot
and
at,
that's about life.
Equality. Yeah, it's interesting.
So
what about if people don't have siblings? How do you sort of teach kids the same values if they're, for example, an only child?
Yeah. Well, you can put them around kids, right? Play dates or family members where these things can come up. And then you can educate and say, you know, it's important to share. It's important to say if you're uncomfortable. It's important to think about how another person is feeling and experiencing you. So it is possible, but with siblings, it's like a crash course, and you learn fast.
And it doesn't stop.
Right. And it doesn't stop, it goes on. That's right.
It's not optional. Okay, psychotherapist Dr. Robi Ludwig, as always, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Dr. Ludwig. And stay with us. You're watching NBC News Daily. Okay.